The Carnaval de Saint-Martin will occur from February 7 to February 18, 2026. More on the Prime Minister's statement on the fire department. The voting for the motion presented by the opposition, Patrice Gums, Minister of Vromi. I want to be very clear about our next steps. From the island, Sint Maarten, this is SXM Daily News for February 6th, 2026. Carnaval de Saint-Martin schedule. Starting on Saturday, February 7, Culturanza is the official launch of Carnaval de Saint-Martin, featuring a cultural parade through Marigot, followed by live musical entertainment continuing into the night, celebrating the island's carnival traditions. On February 8th, the Children's Grand Parade showcases young masqueraders in colorful costumes as they proudly take part in Saint-Martin's carnival celebrations. Hollande Block Party brings the carnival energy into the evening with music, dancing, and street festivities following the day's parade. February 14th, start the morning with Jouvert, Morning Jump Up, a wild street celebration of paint, powder, and music. The day continues with the Valentine's Fest concert, bringing romance and rhythm to the night. February 15th. The Grand Parade is the event's centerpiece, featuring an extravagant procession of elaborately costumed dancers and musicians. It floats that fill the streets with color and music. The Carnaval de Saint-Martin, on the French side of the island, is a vibrant celebration that mirrors the rich cultural mosaic of the French Caribbean. Commonly held from late January to Ash Wednesday, this festival is characterized by its colorful parades, elaborate costumes, and a festive atmosphere that envelops the island. Revelers, adorned in feathers, sequins, and beads, take to the streets to the rhythm of zouk, soca, and calypso, showcasing the island's dynamic culture and artistic flair. We have more of the Prime Minister, Dr. Luc Mercelina's statement on the floor of Parliament. The civil servants. The other one was a statement of disgrace that I didn't mention in this presentation. The text, actually, is about the civil servants. We have to realize that, and I accept and acknowledge, that there is understaffing not only by P&O, but by many departments in the government.
MP Lacroix, actually there was one question about the civil servants. The other one was a statement of disgrace that I didn't mention in this presentation. It's not mentioned in my text. Actually, it's about the civil servants. We have to realize that, and I accept and acknowledge that there is a understaffing not only by P&O, but by many departments in the government. And in those departments, you can realize that they're doing their utmost best. And it's not about, as you said, the civil servants, but at the end of the day, it's what is being produced by the department is at the end of the day carried by hard-working civil servants. So it's not about the civil servants, it's about the outcome. But if you do not have enough staffing, these persons and civil servants are working very hard and they're being judged incorrectly because of the challenge of understaffing. Secondly, I go now to MP Irion. He made a statement about press briefing. I didn't say anything about press briefing, so I cannot give an answer on that one. If I'm in agreement with the motion or not, no, I am not in agreement with the motion.
Prime Minister, allow me to allow MP Lewis briefly to make an interruption.
Through you, Madam Chair, to the Prime Minister, who does P&O falls under? P&O falls under, according to me, U.S. General Affairs Prime Minister, And the department of, the fire department, I would also like him to state how much personnel is at the fire department, because according to me, it's not that much. So with that said, Madam Chair, I thank you.
Okay, you're welcome, MP Lewis, for that interruption. Prime Minister, you may continue, and if you can respond to MP Lewis's interruption, and Prime Minister, you may continue with your statement, with your answers.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair. MP Otley made a statement about the significance of the action of Parliament that, to his perception, triggered that all of a sudden there was a meeting with P&O. I can inform MP Otley that this meeting, and MP Veronica Webster-Janssen just asked that question, so I can give answer directly to two MPs. This meeting was more than a week ago planned already. So it's not a meeting that has been triggered on the base of the action plan of Parliament. It's very important for us to know that. It's already a third-party planned meeting in the COM.
I have a job to do.
Prime Minister?
Yes?
I'll allow MP Otley the opportunity to ask something
Yes,
that was not clear in your answer, I hope it is. So, because the Prime Minister is now responding to clarifications.
Thank you.
But I'll allow you to make the interruption.
Thank you
MP
very
Otley.
much, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, he's referring to my clarification, and if I find something off, I have the need to, interrupt. I never said through you, Madam Chair, to the Honorable Prime Minister that the meeting was triggered by the actions of Parliament. What I did say, I guess other people want to do my interruption for me?
Maybe.
Okay. So what I did say, I said the meetings was held with P&O yesterday.
Yes.
Parliament wrote a letter stating we will give the Prime Minister the 48 hours. Instead of bringing the motion yesterday, we granted Prime Minister the extra time to deal and respond to the unions. A lot of action happened yesterday, which I asked the Honorable Prime Minister, then that time frame that was given by Parliament, would you find it prudent?
MP Otley, just for the sake of the understanding of the general public, this was not by Parliament, because you're saying this.
Okay, well, by the United People's Party, National Alliance, and the Now faction. Would you then say, with all that was uncovered yesterday, that that time frame was found prudent? I never said that it was triggered.
Okay, thank you, MP Otley. Members of Parliament, we will now allow the Prime Minister to finish his responses to the clarifications. Prime Minister, you may continue.
Yes. The next question is that I have been the minister, Prime Minister, since the 3rd of May, 2024. And actually, I was intending to actually start to work immediately on the issues by the fire department. But do not forget that I was almost only 2 weeks in office, and they threw down my government. And then we became demissionaire. So, of course, even during the time of being demissionaire, I was in contact with the fire department, exploring what was going on there. Thirdly, there is here from MP Lewis a statement about in the time of many prime ministers before me, and if, for example, the President of Parliament, that was one of those prime ministers in the past. What I can recall is that the first prime minister of St. Martin as of 10-10-10 was our honorable President of Parliament, Mrs. Sarah Westcott Williams. And I can tell you something, she made sure that the fire department had a function book as of the moment that country St. Martin became a country. So that means that in the phase that she was in, there was no reason of discussion of a maltreatment of the fire department, because she made sure as Prime Minister that she started the new history of County St. Martin with a correct function book in 10-10-10. So the time span this Prime Minister was leading the country, there were no questioning that she did not contribute for improving the status of the firemen. There was now a question from what I answered already from MP Veronica Webster. As I said, the planning that we had with P&O was already planned. The way government works is that we do not take decisions ad hoc for third-party meetings. We have annotated agendas. We have to plan week before the week of the meeting. Everything is already set, that even when you invite third parties, they have the opportunity and time to prepare to present whatever they have to present. There was one more question from MP Lewis, and that was how many people are working by the fire department, and it is approximately 50 to 55 persons working by the fire department. Madam Chair, thank you very, very much.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXM, yeah, your social health insurances.
The President of Parliament, Sarah Westcott Williams, gave the outcome of the voting for the motion presented by the opposition by MPs Omar Otley, Francisco Lacroze, and Lyndon Lewis. But first, the Member of Parliament responded to reject the motion.
Clear the air. When I choose to make a decision, I'm here today as a Member of Parliament, the No faction, because I'm the only one in this faction. When I have to listen to the cries and have fire department personnel not only reach here in Parliament to visit me, Prime Minister, but also at my home. When I have to caucus moreover with different union representatives pertaining to the problem at hand and pertaining to the manner of which things are being handled, I have to come to a decision whether me and the Prime Minister are friends or not. But today, this is business. Because if it was me, the motion of disapproval, I do not see it as a motion of confidence. But for those who do not understand, it is like a warning letter. A warning letter to you, Prime Minister, through you, Madam Chair, that there are ways to handle the business of this country and that our people indeed comes first. Sometimes it's not the way we say things, but it's also the way that we do things. And the people that were here last week, Prime Minister, feels like they do not have the support of their Prime Minister. And it is my job to make sure that the Prime Minister and his COM are accountable in handling the people's business with full support and respect. With that, Madam Chair, I think I have motivated why I will vote for this motion.
When MP La Cruz presented his motion on LNG and we asked the Prime Minister what he thought of it, the Prime Minister at the time said that he did not think that it was something that we should pursue as an island. However, I at the time thought, no, I side with MP La Cruz. So I would like to say today that I too will vote according to my conscience. And when I look at what the Prime Minister had presented, what the Prime Minister has been presenting from the time that we started with this meeting, way back when we started in November, the Prime Minister has presented numerous letters and correspondence. So when you hear that there was no communication, I question how there was no communication. We have received those letters back and forth in between the parties. We have seen where the Prime Minister has been able to commit to some of the things that were asked of the fire department. And when you look at the people behind it, the fire department, the actual workers, yes, I too can acknowledge and see that something went wrong over the years, over the many years with the fire department, with the ambulance, with the justice department. But will this motion today help those fire department workers? I do not see how that will help them.
First of all, I'd like to thank the first responders and all that they do for society on a daily basis. You know, many times we go out in the community as elected officials and people tell us honorable members of parliament, honorable ministers, but I think they're the honorary civil servants of this community. Now, Madam Chair, many times when motions like this are presented, it's pegged as for, against. If you're against, that means you're against the plight. In this terms, we're talking about the first responders, but that is not the case. We're specifically speaking about the context of this motion. If we go back to last week, even the Prime Minister alluded to, which I also had here on my paper, that a member of Parliament stated, and I quote, "The mediation process is still ongoing and we don't have the results to deliberate here today. How are we going to move forward? What is the reason for the meeting today?" While I disagree with the latter part of what the reason for the meeting was on that day, I agree with if mediation was agreed to by both parties and that mediation process is still ongoing, then how could we sit here and say that the Prime Minister is inactive or taking lack of action, or however the resolution states? The government is simply waiting for the results of the mediation.
The minister, the Prime Minister, I believe, is too busy playing in the Ministry of ECYS, playing in the Ministry of ASR, playing in the Ministry of Rummy, to have enough time to focus on his own ministry and focus on the fire department to get over the finish line. And MP Janssen mentioned that this motion today basically is useless. But Madam Chair, you know, when I look at the
What? MP Janssen, what is your persoonlijke feit?
MP Arian mentioned that I said that the motion was useless, and I did not mention that. So that's my persoonlijke feit.
It is
So
one
he should
because
withdraw it.
the member of parliament did mention you by name and actually gave what would have been a quote from you. MP Arian, you have heard the member raised her persoonlijk feit in terms of what you stated. MP Arian, you may continue with the motivation of your vote.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It was mentioned that the motion today will not help. I'll say that. But Madam Chair, you know, when I look at the USM faction, when there was a motion, a potential motion of no confidence against the current Minister of Rummy, at that point in time, it was never a discussion about a motion that would not help. And today, the Prime Minister talks about political maneuvering, but that same faction, right, has been really political maneuvering. And I think today, as MP Adi mentioned, this is our position. This is the position of the union. This is the position of the members. There's not one member of the union that is saying that the former ministers didn't work on it. They're not saying that there were issues in the past, or not saying there were not issues in the past. They are saying you are the issue now. That's what they are saying.
Seeing that indeed I'm part of the URSM faction, I do want to make it clear that what my dear previous speaker spoke about, I'm not familiar with no motion of no Minister of Romy or whatsoever. So please, let's stick to the facts here today. And the facts here today is that there's a motion being presented, and the question is if you're pro or against the motion. So therefore today, I will give my motivation why I will not be supporting this motion. For all that know, and for the ones that do not know, I, Shamira Donata Mahatma Roseburg, stand here for the people of St. Martin, on behalf of the people of St. Martin, and when I'm for something, I will support it, coalition or opposition. When I'm against something, I will support it or do not support it. So therefore, I'm standing here stating the facts, and we need to stop using motions to have other hidden agendas being brought forward. The fact here today is that there is a motion of disapproval against the Prime Minister, and when I read that motion, I cannot agree with the content of that motion. If we were here today and the Prime Minister, through you, Madam Chair, is stating that nothing happened, is stating that he cannot provide information, then I can understand some kind of feelings that something needs to be done. But we cannot ignore the fact that several documentation has been provided to Parliament. We cannot ignore the fact that the first time when the Prime Minister and the Minister of VESA and the hard-working firefighters and ambulance personnel was here present, it was mentioned, and I was one of the persons that mentioned it, mediation is needed.
We still have an issue that when people feel ignored, escalation follows. And a lack of communication is not a small issue. That's what turns manageable problems into crises. Now, I don't think that the fire department deserves to go slow in order to be heard. And the fact that we're here today is actually proof of a failure of leadership, but not just on the side of the Prime Minister, it's on the side of the fire department as well. And from day one, I have said communication was the issue here. And through you, I want to directly send a message to the Prime Minister that I know what compassion he is capable of because of how he dealt with me when I started my political career and we were in the same place together. And that same compassion has to be found right now to resolve this as soon as possible. In addition, it is my understanding that maybe April this year is the time that the 3-year review is coming up. And I would say to use that April 2026 date as a guideline, or actually as a deadline, to actually get anything resolved, because after that, my patience is not unlimited.
But I cannot, in my good conscience, find how a vote towards the Prime Minister for his handling of this situation will solve the problem of the firefighters. The kind of politics, in essence, that is being played to try to say that if you do not support this motion, you're against the fire department, is ludicrous. It is the craziest stretch that anyone could ever reach. Because the question is, why now the sudden escalation? And I understand that everything reaches a boiling point. So I could feel and understand the frustration because it has been 15 years. 15 years. And in my first presentation to Parliament on this matter, although I was never Prime Minister, I mentioned we all have a part in this.
Madam Chair Lady, when in school, I was taught that there's a procedure on dealing with a patient. And I know that the Prime Minister, being a surgeon, a doctor, he also knows the procedure. It starts with an anamnesis. In that anamnesis, you sit, you have a conversation with your client, with the patient, you find out what is going on, what is the problem. Then you have a lichamelijke onderzoek. So you're going to dive in and figure out mechanically what is the problem. Then you do een aanvullende onderzoek, een diagnosestelling, and most important, the behandelplan. That is what we are talking about here today, Madam Chair Lady. The Prime Minister has had 2 years to come up with a behandelplan, a plan on how to get this in order. I could have understood, Madam Chair Lady, if the Prime Minister said, hey, we can't afford to pay you from 2003. And you're asking for this? No, we could only do from 2010. But then I would find in the budget revenue generating measures to be able to cover those.
I would like to make it clear, but I think a lot of the members already mentioned it, that this is definitely not an issue that started yesterday, or even on the contrary, not 2 years, but a year and some change that the Honorable Prime Minister has been in office. It's been there for years. So obviously that shows as well that it's more intricate, it's more to it, and it's not just an easy fix to handle. And as we know, anything that needs to be done good might take some time. And the thing is that, of course, nothing against the firefighters. I definitely respect the firefighters, the firemen and the firewomen, but there's always two sides of a coin, and we're not dealing just with the firemen, the firewomen, and the government. We're also dealing with the union as well. So we need to look at the full picture and take the full accountability where that goes as well.
Also, I wanted on record, Madam Chair, that this motion of disapproval in no way means that I, first of all, do not support my government or that I will not support my government in the future. I'm here to stay. But you see, Madam Chair, through you, these are the games that have plagued St. Martin for so long, up to the point where we have failed as a country to hold our office holders in the past, present, and possibly future accountable for issues that bother us, the people, on the daily. So I'm here to nip whatever rumors run rampant right here in the bud. So, Madam Chair, I say through you, regardless of if this motion passes today, the message is very clear to not only the government, but also to the people. Let's get serious, let's fix it as a whole, and hold ourselves accountable for the people. And let's stop these political blame games along the way.
Against.
MP Ludmila de Weaver.
Against.
MP Christopher Weaver.
Against.
MP Artwell Irian.
For.
MP Veronica Jansen-Webster.
Against.
MP Dumarla Bega.
Against.
MP Francisco La Cruz.
For.
MP Lyndon Lewis.
For.
MP Franklin Myers.
Against.
MP Omar Otley.
For.
MP Rayon Peterson. Chair Lady Sarah Westcott Williams.
Against. For this motion are 5 votes. Against this motion are 7 votes. This motion is thereby not carried.
Now for the weather forecast, tonight through Friday morning. Variably cloudy with isolated showers. Friday afternoon and evening, partly cloudy. Isolated showers are possible. Surface winds, tonight through Friday evening, east-southeasterly to southerly with a gentle to light breeze from 12 to 5 MEP state of the sea. Slight to moderate waves, swells, 2 to 5 feet outlook through Saturday evening. fair to partly cloudy with isolated showers. And now, your 3-day forecast.
Your social and health insurance is your social and health insurance.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social and health insurance.
Patrice Gums, Minister of Public Housing, Spatial Planning, Environment and Infrastructure. I want to be very clear about our next steps. We will be looking into other parts of government land, where unauthorized construction has taken place. Many people have reached out to the NRPB, hoping to be compensated for relocating the NRPB. To be clear, is not involved with demolition, and neither is the demolition part of the EDMP project. Speaking at the COM press briefing.
With this parcel now clear, I want to be very clear about our next steps. We will be looking into other parcels of government land where unauthorized construction has taken place. Many people reached out to the NRPB hoping to be compensated for relocating. The NRPB, to be clear, is not involved with demolition, and neither is this demolition part of the EDMP project. I ask that you do not wait to relocate, hoping for a payout from them. This is a critical message for anyone occupying land or who has built structures on properties. If you did not deed the land at the notary, you do not have that parcel of land in long lease. Simply occupying land, even for an extended period, does not automatically grant you legal ownership or long lease rights. I also recognize that the situation on Palm Island is a symptom of a deeper issue within our society, of a critical lack of housing, challenges on immigration, and a broader socioeconomic challenge to which we are going to address collectively as a government and also mention within our housing policy. I want to express our sincere appreciation to the Restasi team, the police force, and all cooperating agencies whose professionalism and support enable the safe execution of these operations. We remain committed to proper land management, recognizing that improper land management leads to a lot of unclean, unhygienic situations to which you have complained about, and will continue to enforce regulations going forward.
This is our SXM Daily Newscast. Thank you for joining us.